Now a story that hits a little closer to home. In addition to managing a growing seed stock operation and raising 3 kids, this cattleman also finds time to host a television show that you may be familiar with. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter takes us to Kersey, Colorado to spend a day in the life at Ochsner Limousine. That's a balancing act. There's, as you see, the breed average. They can probably tell this on the show, but I'm passionate about the beef cattle industry. I love eating beef. I love the people that raise beef. I love the chance to work around cattle, and I think it's just a real blessing that some of us get the privilege in this world to take care of beef animals.
Cattleman to Cattleman host Kevin Ochsner, along with his 3 kids, wife, and father, all work together to run Ochsner Limousine on the family ranch near Kersey, Colorado.
Well, my family is a critical element of our operation. I travel a lot, and because of that, it really is a family effort. My dad typically is responsible for all the farm work, growing feed, and also leads the AIing of our cows. My wife is very involved in calving and also heat checking cows and doing some hand chores every day. And the kids, they have 4-H projects, and they're pretty engaged in the showing of livestock.
Kevin's kids are also learning the ins and outs of the cattle business as a result of his passion for the industry. Kevin and his wife Julie believe it's important to give their children opportunities in the industry and to explore their own interests.
This morning my daughter was getting a heifer ready that she's shown all summer, and she's getting her ready for Denver. And so typically she feeds those heifers and gets them blown out and gets them rinsed in the morning and works their hair. And my son is in his first year in 4-H this year, and so he's just on the front side of learning a lot of that.
I think Kevin traveling has been a blessing for the kids because they have had to step up so much. They have been little hired helpers ever since that they were old enough to walk or carry a bucket or fill a water tank. And so while sometimes we think that it's been kind of a bummer that Kevin's had to travel and be gone and we wish he was here more, I think as the kids grow up, I see how they've really taken on responsibility and how this is their cattle business as well, because they've been so actively involved and that what they do really matters.
Kevin's passion for raising cattle began at the ripe old age of 2 when his father gave him his first heifer to watch over. His operation has since grown to include raising show cattle and seed stock bulls that he sells direct to other operations.
The registered cattle business combines a couple of my passions. First of all, I love animal science and animal husbandry, and allows me to exercise my brain in trying to make specific matings and utilize technology ranging from expected progeny differences to genetic testing to try to build a better beast. And it combines that with another passion of mine, which is the people business. In the registered cattle business, you've got to be a people person, and you got to like working with and visiting with people.
Kevin's operation revolves around the individual connections made throughout his family's long history in the industry. Continuing the tradition his grandparents began with a farm near Fort Collins, Kevin strives to make every customer a lifelong customer, both through his bull sales and through his marketing program, Tender Lean Beef.
We had a longtime customer from Craig here looking at bulls this morning on his way to visit his son. His dad actually bought bulls from my dad probably 30 years ago, and so our families have been close a long, long time. And he was coming here to look at some fall yearling bulls this morning. I love the relationships that are established in the registered business. A lot of these ranchers like to come and work with the same person, or at least the same family over time. They get to liking your breeding operation, and it's just really neat the kind of relationships that are established over time. Ochsner Limousine is a registered cattle operation. We run about 125 head of registered Limousine and Limflex cows, and we sell bulls to commercial ranchers. And then my wife has a beef business called Ochsner Tender Lean Beef, and she sells beef to consumers up and down the Front Range of Colorado. It's really neat, the opportunity to live in the Front Range of Colorado and to have that direct interface with the end consumer, in addition to the communications we have with cow-calf operators.
Kevin's skill on the ranch caught NCBA's eye when they needed a host for the show, an experience that was completely new to Kevin.
I had somebody from NCBA call me who had seen me speak at an event, and asked me to audition for the show. I auditioned and didn't get the job, and they asked me to do some voiceover work, so I guess I had a face for radio, so to speak. And then a couple years later, they called and they needed somebody to fill in one day, and I went down there and tried to figure out how to learn to read a teleprompter, and then became the host shortly after that. So it's been a learning experience, needless to say.
Transitioning from the ranch to the teleprompter wasn't without its challenges, but the chance to host NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman brought several of Kevin's passions together and opened the door not only for himself to meet industry leaders, but to bring those leaders to viewers.
I think Cattleman to Cattleman is a really unique show. There's no place that you can go within an hour's time to get the latest in what's happening from a marketing perspective and what's going on legislatively. In hearing from some of the smartest people in our industry, and some of the interviews that we do are just incredible. And then you combine that with some of the really neat special interest stories. I love the Environmental Stewardship Award stories that we do, and a lot of the other special interest stories. And you get to be entertained by our friend Baxter Black. He's always a kick to listen to. So I think it's a really unique opportunity in a comfort of your own home to stay abreast of what's happening in our industry.
Not only does Kevin advocate watching Cattleman to Cattleman to stay current with industry trends, but he supports NCBA by being a member and actively engaging with the cattle industry.
There's a lot of opportunity in the cattle business today, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to make some big mistakes, just given the volatility and what's happening from a governmental and political standpoint. And I think NCBA is our opportunity as producers to come together not only to be educated, but to be engaged in making things happen positively for our industry. We have tremendous opportunity in this beef cattle industry, but we've got to capitalize on it, and it's going to take a group of us combined in a national organization to do that.
Reporting from Kersey, Colorado, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
For more information about the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and to join me as a member, head to beefusa.org or just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.